Hello everyone, I am Gyan and you are learning computer science with Python for class 11. In this video, we are going to learn about various list functions and methods. List functions and methods. There are various functions supported by list. We are going to learn about all of them one by one. The first function we can use with list is the len function. And we already have studied about len function in the previous videos of this session at various occasions. So here also we can pass a list literal or list variable to the argument of the len function to find length of the list. So the len function is used to find length of the list. Length of the list. Let's use len function practically. Let's create a list. L is equal to 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3. I want to find length of this list. So use the len function, pass the variable len in the len function, press enter, and here we have 3 because length of the list is 3. We can pass the list literal directly as an argument to the length function. So I can directly use here 1, 2, 3 and it will also result 3. Let's create another list. L is equal to 4, 2. The third element is a list. The third element is a list in itself. And the fourth element here is a tuple. Fourth element is a tuple. Press enter. This is my list. Now can you tell me what is the length of this list? This list has only 4 elements. The first element, the second element, the third element and the fourth element. This list has only 4 elements. The third element has 2 values in it, whereas the fourth element also has 2 values in it. So length of list L is 4 because this list has 4 elements. Length of list L2, okay, because we know that the third element, this element can be accessed by using the index 2 and this element is a list in itself. So by writing L2, I want to find length of this list, okay, length of the list 91. The length of this list is 2, therefore here we will get 2. Similarly, when we write len and write L3, that means I want to find length of this fourth element. The index of the fourth element is 3. Therefore, we have used L3. The fourth element is the tuple and I want to find length of the tuple. The length of the tuple is 2. Therefore, this method will return 2. This is called the len method. But if we call the len method by using an integer, that is going to throw an error. Okay, because object of type integer has no len. Therefore, if we try to find len of L0 or L1, you are going to get the error because the elements at L0 or L1 are integers. Next, we are going to learn is list method. We already have used list method at various occasions. Now, let's understand about list method. When you call a list method by using a sequence, you are going to get list using the elements of that sequence. Now, what do I mean by sequence? What are sequence? A sequence can be a string, a sequence can be a list, a sequence can be a tuple, a sequence can be a set. So if you pass any of these data to the list method, you will end up creating a list by using elements of these data. Let's try the list method practically. Suppose that I have a string s is equal to hello. I want to create a list using the string s. So pass the string variable or string literal into the list method. Here you have the list. The list got created by using various elements of the string. If you write L is equal to list and write here apple, press enter, type L, and here we are, APPLE, apple. Similarly, we can create a list using tuple or by using list itself. Let's create a tuple first. T is equal to 1, 2, 3 as tuple. Press enter. Now create a list by using various elements of the tuple. Type list T. Here you have created a list by using various elements of the tuple. Similarly, suppose that you have a set S is equal to, in the curly bracket you write 1, 2, 3. This is a set and you want to create a list using this set. So L is equal to list S, and here your list is. The list has been created by using various elements of the tuple. Now let's see another example. S is equal to a set 1, 2, 2, 3. This is a set and I want to create a list by using various elements of this set. Now tell me, how many elements will be there in the list? There will be only 3 elements in the list. Why? Because duplicate elements are not allowed in the set. So in the set itself, we have only 3 elements. Yes, we have entered 4, but since the element 2 has been repeated twice, therefore set is created just by using 3 elements 1, 2 and 3. The repeated 2 was not included in the set. And if the repeated 2 is not included in the set, then how it will be included in the list which is getting created using the set? Okay, that's why the list has only 3 elements. We can create a list by using already existing list. Suppose that I have an existing list which contains the elements 1, 2, 3, high, and a tuple. The 4 elements exist in the list. I want to create another list using this list, so I can call L is equal to list and pass the list variable L1 to the list method in order to create the new list. So this is the list method. If in the list method we pass any variable or literal of a sequence, then we will end up creating a list using the elements of that sequence. Next we are going to learn is index method. Index method. Let's directly see the practical use of index method. Suppose that I have a list L1 is equal to, the elements of the list are 13, 18, 11, 16, 18, 14. Press enter. And what I want is, I want the index of the element 18. So what I do here, I write L1 dot index, find me the index of the element 18. L1 dot index 18, find me the index of the element 18. So element 18 has been appeared at the index 1, but the element 18 also appears at the index 4. The idea is that the index element returns the index of the first matched item in the list. Okay, means whichever the element first matched with the argument, the index of that element will be returned by the index method. The other element will be ignored. If you pass an item to the index method which does not exist in the list, means which is not an element of the list, then in that case the index method results a value error. This is the value error, that 33 is not in the list. The next we are going to learn about append and extend methods. These two methods seems to be similar, but different than each other. That's why we are going to learn these two methods together. Let's go practical and apply these methods to a list and understand the working of these two methods. Suppose that I have a list L1 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now I have another list that is L2. L2 is equal to 4, 5. Now first let's see how append method works. If I write here L1 dot append, so if I type here a literal or a variable, that literal or variable will be added to L1. So if I write here say 9, the 9 will be appended to L1. So if I write something like L3 is equal to L1 dot append and say I want to append high here. I want to append high. The string high will be added to L1. But what we have in L3? We have nothing in L3 because the append method returns nothing. Suppose that I want to append the list L2 to the list L1. Write it L1 dot append L2. So I want to extend the list L1 by using the list L2. The L1 now has one more element, only one more element, and that element is complete L2 list. Okay, notice here that 4 and 5 have not been added as separate elements of L1, but 4, 5 as a list got added as one element of L1. This is the append method. Hopefully you are getting it. But let's now use the extend method. That how extend method works. L1 dot extend. I want to extend L1 by using a string hello. Okay. Press enter. Now check what is the new value of L1. As you can see, the hello as it is has not been added to the list, but all the characters of the string hello have been added as separate elements of the list L1. Okay. So if you provide a sequence to the extend method, all the elements of that sequence will be added as separate elements to the caller list variable. Now let's call it like list 234 dot extend. In the extend method use 6 7. If you execute it, if you execute this statement, 6 and 7 will be added as separate elements of this list. So press enter. Oh sorry, extend method has not returned anything. That's why it has not printed anything. Of course this list was changed, but we do not have any provision to print this list now because this was not stored in any variable. So we got nothing as the output. Right here L1 dot extend 6 7 6 comma 7, and here is your L1. Okay, 6 and 7 have been added as separate elements of the list L1. Similar to the append method, the extend method also does not return anything, as we have seen here in this statement. But if you try to call the extend method by using a non-sequence data, try to call the extend method by using a non-sequence data like integer, then you will get an error that integer object is not iterable. Only an iterable object can be passed to the extend method. And we know that all the sequence data types are iterable data types because we can traverse through their elements one by one. They have multiple elements and we can traverse through various elements one by one. So this is the basic difference between append and extend method. When we have called the append method by using a list, the list itself got added as one element to the list L1. But when we call the extend method by using a list, the two elements of the list in parameter of the extend method got added as separate elements of the caller list, that is the list L1. This is the difference between append and extend methods. Next, we are going to learn about insert method. Insert method of list. Insert method is similar to append and extend methods. Only difference is that with the insert method, you have choice that on which index you want to insert a data to the list. So normal behavior of insert method is like call the insert method by using list object list.insert with two arguments. One is index and other one is item or data to be inserted. Suppose that we have a list T1 is equal to AEU, character A, character E and character U. So you have three characters in the list T1. Now I want to insert T1.insert. What I want to insert is I want to insert I, but I want to insert I at index number 2. So A is at index number 0, E is at index number 1, I will be inserted at index number 2 and U will be at index number 3. If you press enter and type T1, as you can see, T1 has been changed and I has been included at the index number 2. Now suppose that if you want to insert something at the index number 0 of the list, then you need to write T2 is equal to T1 dot insert. Why I am writing here T2 is equal to T1 dot insert? I will tell you later. But our main operation is to update T1 so that an element of our choice will be inserted at the index number 0. So insert at the index number 0, what to insert? Say we have to insert the value 1. So at the index number 0, I want to insert the value 1. What is T1 now? As you can see, the value 1 has been inserted to the index number 0. What is T2? T2 is nothing. Because similar to append and extend methods, the insert method also returns nothing. Now suppose that if you want to insert something at the end of the list, then what we can do? We can write T1.insert where you want to insert. I want to insert at length of T1 minus 1. Okay, I want to insert length of T1 minus 1. What I want to insert? I want to insert a list. I want to insert 3, 4. Okay, press enter, type T1. See what happens here is in the original T1, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. Okay, so I want to insert at the index number 4. Where is the index number 4? Index number 0, index number 1, index number 2, index number 3. After 3, it comes 4. Therefore, 3, 4 has been included at the index number 4. As you can see here. So, we are failed to insert 3, 4 as the last element of the list. Now, let's try to append it. Okay. Let's type T1.insert and just write here len T1. Okay. Just insert it at the last index, means whatever the index you have, go one after that. If you have just 5 elements in your list and index goes from 0 to 4, to insert at the end, you have to insert at the 5th index, not at the 4th index. And that's what mistake we did here. We have inserted at the 4th element. So here I want to insert at the 6th element because now size of our list is 6. So insert at the 6th index, and what I want to insert, suppose that I want to insert a tuple 1, 2. Press enter, type T1 and we have successfully inserted a tuple at the end of the list. So effect of calling this method is similar to append method. Okay, if I call T1.append with a list as its argument, so the effect will be seen as calling the insert method like this. If I write here T1 dot insert length of T1 and plus anything plus 100, press enter, type T1, and here you got, even if we have provided an index which is a way more than number of elements present in the list, then also we ended up adding the element at the end of the list. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you are going to add in the length T1, you will be end up adding the element at the end of the list. Now what about negative index? Suppose that in this list I want to add something T1 dot insert at the index number -2, comma, I want to add high. Okay, press enter, type T1, and high got added here. If you calculate, then where the high got added? This one is at -1, this one is at -2. Okay, and on the left of -2, we have added high. Similarly, if we write T1 dot insert, I want to insert at the index -1 and I want to add, say, WER, any random string, type T1, and as you can see, it got added after the index -1. So this is how you are going to add the content. But when you use a negative index, which is invalid, now how many negative index are valid here? -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, and -10. So up to -10, the index are valid here. If I write here -15 and want to add say 78 as a string. Oh, sorry, I forgot to write the method insert. So if I write here -15 as the index and want to add 78 as the string, I will end up adding the string 78 in the very beginning of the list. So this is the insert method. Next we are going to learn is pop method. Pop method. What we do in pop method? Again, like other methods, let's start using pop method directly. Suppose that I have a list T1 is equal to, this is the list whose reference is stored in the variable T1. If I write x is equal to T1 dot pop, then what happens here is whatever the element was the last element in the list, that will be popped out, means that will be taken out from the tuple. As you can see here, the element u is not more in the list. The element u has been taken out from the list and has been stored in the variable x. This is called the pop method. Only the last element will be taken out from the list, means the element at the highest index, highest positive index, will be taken out from the list. The method pop can be called by using a proper index, like I can call t1.pop and use the index here, index 0. I want to pop an element from the index 0. So the value of x will be k because the element got popped from the index 0, and this is the new status of T1. The element k got popped out and these are the elements remaining in the list T1. Suppose that you have an empty list. This is the empty list. If you want to pop from the empty list, it will throw an error because you cannot pop from the empty list. The next method we are going to learn is remove method. Remove method. Now again, let's use the remove method practically. Suppose that I have a list. The list is T1 is equal to A, E, I, PQA, P, Q, A, Q, P. So this is my list, the list T1. Using the remove method, I can remove an element from the list by its value, not by its index, by its value. Okay, so T1 dot remove, let's remove the value P. Remove the value P. It removes the first appearance of the value P. Okay, it only removes the first appearance of the value P when you come from left to right. Okay, so press enter, type T1. Now first appearance of P has been removed. And what is there in X? X contains nothing because remove method returns nothing. So only first occurrence of data will be removed from the list. If you call the remove method by a value which is not present in the list, p1.remove, remove a data which is not present in the list, it will throw an error saying you are calling the remove method by using the value k. If this is the formal format of the remove method like list.remove x, then your x is not found in the list. Okay, here in this case the x is k, so k is not found in the list. The other method we are going to learn is clear method. See, the difference between pop and remove is pop method removes an element and return the removed element which can be stored in a variable. But remove method just removes the first occurrence of the item and does not return anything. The next method we are going to learn is clear method. Clear method. Clear method removes all the items from the list and list becomes empty. Let's try the clear method practically. Say we have a list L1 is equal to 2, 3, 4 and 5, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Press enter and let's find ID of L1. ID of L1. This is the ID of L1. This is the address where the object L1 exists. Now let's call L1 dot clear. Now the list L1 becomes empty. Means all the elements from the list L1 got erased. But the list itself exists. The situation is like you have a container. Container had few values, but the values got removed after calling the clear method, whereas container still exists. This is the clear method. But if I write L1 is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5 again, 2, 3, 4 and 5 again, this is my L1 and ID L1, this is ID L1. At this time we have created a list at different location. Now I'm writing del L1. Here we are going to delete the list object. Okay, means we are going to delete the container itself, not only the content of container. We are going to delete the container itself. So if I type ID L1, it says there is no name like L1. Okay, means everything got deleted. If I try to print L1, name L1 is not defined. We have deleted L1. So this is the difference between clear and del. Del deletes everything, deletes the variable, deletes the container. Whereas clear just removes the elements from the container, just removes the elements from the list. The container means an empty list still exists in the memory. The other method we are going to learn is count method. Again, let's use the count method practically to understand its working. Suppose that you have a list L1 is equal to 13, 18, 20, 10, 18 and 23. This is your list. and you want to count number of times the element 18 has been appeared in the list. That's what you want to count. So you can call the count method L1.count and write here the item which you want to count in the list. I want to count the item 18 in the list. Item 18 has been appeared twice in the list. So if I call the count method by using 13 as its argument, we got 1 because the element 13 has been appeared once. If I call the count method L1.count by using 78 as its argument, then it will return 0 because 78 has not been appeared in this list. This is the count method which counts number of times the past argument appeared in the list. Now let's see another method, that is sort method. Next we are going to learn is sort method. Now the question is, what is sort? What is sort? Sort means arranging something in increasing or decreasing order. Sorting is a big problem in computer science world. We have various algorithms, we have various ways of sorting. But here you should not care about the various ways of sorting. You just should know that arranging a list in increasing and decreasing order is called sorting of list. So we are going to use the sort method in order to sort the list either in increasing or decreasing order. So let's see the working of sort method practically. Say you have T1 is equal to 2, 13, 5, 1, 8. This is the list you have. If you call x is equal to T1 dot sort, then what will happen here? The list T1 will be sorted and the sorted elements will be arranged in the existing list object itself. That means the sort method is not going to create a new list with the arranged elements. The elements will be arranged at the same place, okay, in the existing list. So press enter. Sort actually returns nothing. But when you check T1, you will find that the list T1 has been arranged in increasing order. Okay, as you can see here, T1 has been arranged in increasing order. Now let's create T1 again, and there is one more way to call the sort method, T1.sort. In the argument of the sort method, you can write reverse is equal to true. If you write reverse is equal to true in the argument of the sort method, then T1 will be sorted in reverse order, as you can see here. So if you just write T1.sort, the T1 will be sorted in increasing order, and if you write T1.sort reverse is equal to true, then T1 will be sorted in the decreasing order. Let's take a copy, paste it here, and let's call T1.sort. Right here reverse is equal to false. So my sorting is going to be increasing order because I have written reverse is equal to false. Type T1 and the effect is same as calling the sort method without having any argument. So writing reverse is equal to false is not necessary. You can just call the sort method and you will be get the sorting in increasing order. But if you want sorting in decreasing order, you must have to write reverse is equal to true as an argument of the sort method. This is the sort method. Apart from sort method, we have another method called sorted method. We have another method called sorted method. Effect of sorted method is almost same as sort method. The sorted method also sorts a list in increasing or decreasing order. But there is certain difference between sort and sorted. Let's see it. Let's take this list, paste it here, and I want to create a new list. T2 is equal to T1 dot sorted. If you look, oh, we cannot call sorted method like this. We have to write T2 is equal to sorted and pass T1 method as an argument to the sorted method. Press enter. If you type T1, the T1 has not been changed. The T1 is same as it was. Actually, what sorted method does, the sorted method sorts any sequence, not only list, any sequence, and returns a sorted list. Okay, so the list T1 has been sorted, but the sorting does not affect the T1 itself. The sorted method creates a new list containing all the elements in sorted order. If I call T2 is equal to sorted T1, reverse is equal to true, then T1 will be sorted, but that sorting will not affect T1. A new list will be created using the sorted elements of T1 and will be stored in the variable T2. So T1 has been sorted in reverse order. Sorted does not only work with list, it works with all the sequences. Let me try. T2 is equal to sorted. Let's pass a string here. String HELLO. Okay. And press enter. Now take T2. Actually, HELLO itself is in sorted order. That's why you cannot see any difference. Let me type something else. T2 is equal to sorted A, C, D, B, Z, X, V, V, W, something like that. Press enter, type T2, and here you got the string in the sorted order, but all the elements now present in a list. So what sorted method does, it actually sorts all the sequence and create a list out of that sequence. The elements of the sequence will present in the list in the sorted order. This is the work of sorted method. You can write T2 is equal to sorted, and you can pass a tuple in it. You can pass a tuple in it like 4, 1, 5, something like that. And in T2, you will have 1, 4, and 5 as a list. Okay, so sorted method always returns a list, but as an argument, you can pass any sequence to the sorted method. Suppose that I want to create a list out of another list whose elements are high, apple, cat, and ball. These are the elements of the list. Okay. If you check the T2, these strings will be sorted in ascending order. Okay. You know how to compare two strings. We already have talked about it. So if you compare apple with all other strings in the list, you will find that apple is smallest than rest of three. Therefore, apple has been appeared at the index number 0 of T2. So that's how we have sorted a list of strings. You can say that the sort method is specific to list. The sort method sorts only list object, but the sorted method can sort any object. However, after sorting, the sorted method returns a list out of those sorted elements. The sort method works on the list and modifies the list, whereas sorted method does not modify the list. It returns a separate list object containing the sorted elements. So these are sort and sorted methods. Next we are going to learn three methods together: max, min and sum. Max, min and sum methods. Sum methods. Max, min and sum methods, or max, min and sum functions, take a list sequence and returns maximum of that list, minimum of that list, or summation of the elements in the list. Let's try these three methods practically. Suppose that we have a list val is equal to 17, 17, 24, 15 and 30. This is my list. If I type min and pass the variable val here, I get the minimum value from that list. If I type here max and pass the variable val here, I get the maximum value of that list. If I type here sum and type val here, I get the summation of all the elements in the list. Let's try something more interesting. Let's create a tuple t is equal to 1, 2, 3. Try to find minimum of that tuple, minimum of t. You have 1, maximum of t, you have 3, and sum of t, you have 6. Let's create a string. S is equal to apple and try to pass string in the min method. Min is, the minimum is a. The character with smallest Unicode is a. Therefore, min s returns a. Max s returns p. Okay. The character with maximum Unicode is p. Sum s, let's see what sum s returns. Sum s throws an error because you cannot add characters here. Therefore, sum s returns error. So min, max and sum are the methods which are applicable to any iterables. Let's try another example. Val is equal to, in a list, write hello, ball, cat and apple. Press enter. Now find the minimum element in this list. The apple is the minimum element in this list. What is the maximum element in this list? Hello is the maximum element of this list. What is sum of various elements in the list? Here you got an error. Hopefully you know why apple is the minimum element of this list and why hello is the maximum element in this list. We already know how to compare two strings. We already have talked about it. So that's all about various methods supported by a list. See you in the next video.